I have this memory of it. The one time it's fired in the movie, The Rock fires it, it goes across the screen and like, towards the person it's being fired at. But the camera sort of pans with it, and I'm like, oh, that was in not the trailer, but the TV commercials. Like I can remember them literally showing their blown load like all over TV commercials. I was like, why would you do that?
What's going on, everyone? We are celebrating Joe Loves Crappy Movies by taking a look back at the movies of Joe Loves Crappy Movies. So, Joe, what are we taking a look at this week?
Hey Phil, this week we're talking about Doom from 2005. It's the 20th anniversary of Doom. Can you believe it? Doom is about space marines that are sent to investigate strange events at a research facility on Mars, but they find themselves at the mercy of genetically enhanced killing machines. Doom stars, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This is early on in his career. He was lean, he was young, he was in fighting shape, he was ready to go. It's weird now to think about The Rock, but he's a monster now. Like he's just this wall of muscle. But this is back in the days where he
He's like that Rob Liefeld image of Captain America now.
exactly. Except it's not just the front, it's the back too. You talk, yeah, like it's everything. um, he's huge now, and that's great. But like when he plays a role now, he's just this giant guy. Back then, you could tell he wanted to do different things. He wanted to do comedy and drama, but he was still very much at the same time like, yes, I still want to be an action hero. Uh, and this was a big part of that. Um, it also stars Carl Urban, who I don't know that I knew from much of anything at this point, except for maybe Lord of the Rings. And he looks so
Yeah.
different from his character in Lord of the Rings that I don't know that at the time I drew a one-to-one comparison. It also stars Rosamund Pike, who at this point I only knew from, I want to say the last Pierce Brosnan Bond movie. She's in that movie and she's great in that. And she's actually kind of great in this too. Those three as the leads are pretty strong here. And I was happy to see them. But to be honest, and I think I told you this before I sat down to watch the movie, when I was looking over like the material, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch Doom. I haven't watched that in a long, long time. And I was like, okay, Space Marines, they go to Mars, they fight monsters. And I saw pictures of the monsters and I was like, not so excited about watching Doom. And I said to myself, do I even like space monster movies? Like, is this something I want to be part of? And of course, yeah, I do love space monster movies, like action space monster movies, because I mean, I could think of at least six alien movies
Oh,
that I
okay.
would watch again. Yeah. And this is very much in that brand. This movie is very much trying to be like an aliens slash alien movie. Like it's the big tough musclehead guns of aliens, but it does try to also embrace the creepy atmosphere of the first Alien movie. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Uh, Dwayne Dwayne. Mr. Johnson plays Sarge. And when he and Carl Urban introduced, it's kind of interesting because you don't know like who the lead is going to be. Uh, it seems at first like it's going to be Johnson, and then but Carl Urban has a big part too. And then Rosamund Pike is introduced, and you're like, oh, she could be somebody's love interest, but no, she plays Carl Urban's sister, and she plays a scientist that's up on Mars. And they have three missions on Mars. They have to retrieve data and other things, get people out safe. And she's one of the people there that's already there that's going to help them complete their mission. Um, and it starts pretty quick, like right away. They're like in the thick of it. They're crawling through sewers and confronting these weird mutations. And it's it does what it tries to do, actually. Like, as I watched the movie, I was like, "Oh, that was pretty dumb." But then I started to write my review for Letterboxd, and I was like, "Oh, everything it set out to do, it kinda does." It's creepy, it's scary, there are some good action scenes, there's a good hand-to-hand fight sequence even between a couple of the marquee title names at the end. Um, and the 2 things it does really great, the 2 notable things that Dune does are spoilers. So I will talk about them, but I'm going to talk about them in just a little bit. Let's talk about a few other things first. So there's good tech in this movie. Um, they use a portal to get to Mars, um, and that was very cool. And visually, this movie is a good mix of CGI and practical effects. The CGI I mentioned because the portal is all CGI. It's like this liquid metal thing that they sort of get sucked into. Um, and then the monsters are a lot of practical effects. Is where it kind of loses me a little. Partially because I feel like for this movie to succeed, it needed to have two things. It needed to have a great cast, I think it does. But then, if I'm gonna really love this monster space movie, I want to love the monsters too. I mean, that's honestly, it's part of what makes Alien so great. Is that the xenomorphs are very easy to fall in love with, and very even just from a design perspective. Like it's easy to think that they're cool and to sort of like love the xenomorphs. Doom does not have that at all. I think these monsters are they look scary and they look like monsters. I'm sure they look like the designs that were in the video game, but it doesn't mean they're cool or
Mhm.
unique. They're kind of just like lumps of meat,
Yeah.
which is like honestly like I bet that was one of the names that they considered. You're fighting lumps of meat now. Like I could see that being a terrible temporary title that sticks. But yeah, they just they don't look. There's no design. They're just monsters. And part of that is because, and this is kind of revealed in a cool way, but like this isn't just a movie where they encounter monsters that are already in space. There's also the chance of infection. And they find out that these are not just monsters that just came out of nowhere, but these are the people that were already there being turned into monsters. And they kind of find out in a cool way. They're doing an autopsy, and she's like pulling out all the organs. She's like, lungs, liver, kidneys, and she's like, this monster has had his appendix removed. And it's kind of a cool moment. It's a cool way to reveal like that story beat. So I did appreciate that. Um, so the first person you see in this movie is, I think his name's Todd Carmack. He's a doctor that's sort of running from one of the monsters. And the actor that they got to do this, and I can't, oh, here it is. His name's Robert Russell. I don't know what else he's ever been in before, but he's sort of the first character you see. And he's got a very normal looking face as he's typing in his computer, sending out a distress call. But then there's a big bang on the door behind him, and he sort of whips around and does like this crazy face. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's got great, crazy face acting. Like he was really on it. Um, and he gets to use it a little bit later because he's infected and slowly turning, and they find him and they're like, "What's wrong, Dr. Krupek?" And he just rips his ear off and makes like these crazy faces. And I was like, "This guy's the best." And it pays off later because they catch one of the monsters later, and they're like, "Well, who is this guy?" And they're like, "Look at his ear, and it has been ripped off." So you're like, "Oh my God, a 1-to-1." I understand. Um, you know, it's a supporting cast that like you don't see too much in other films, or like at least I haven't encountered too much. But there are two. I mean, there's a bunch. They're all. I felt connected to all of them at times, but I was impressed by uh, this guy named Richard Brake who plays Portman. Um, he's real sleazy. He's a real scumball. He's got a great Joker face. Like he's got this crazy like Richter grin smile. And if he were more famous, I think he would have been in the conversation for like the next Joker, if it had all lined up, just because he's got a great presence, and I mean he feels like the Joker. Um, Also, shout out to Dexter Fletcher, who's a British actor, who in this movie plays Pinky. Do you know Pinky from the games?
I do not know Pinky from the games, but we'll get into that
Okay,
later.
we will. It's someone who's the name Pinky is referenced in the games. Anyway, he's half a guy. He's been ripped in. He like lost his leg, so like it's a great effect of him sort of from the waist up. He's there, and he's just wheels on the bottom, and he just kind of rolls around. But I really love Dexter Fletcher. He went on to have a great directing career. He did Bohemian Rhapsody, and he did one of my favorite movies, Eddie the Eagle. I just think he's great. So shout out to Dexter Fletcher. And I mean, spoilers, but he gets infected and sort of becomes a, the monster Pinky from the game. And that's another case where like the effects should have been better. It was like this big slug with little wheels on the end because the wheels are still there. But anyway, I'm spoiling this movie for you. I feel terrible, and I'm not even. I haven't even spoiled the good things. Um, it's revealed that the sickness or the infection will bring out what's best or worst inside of you. So, like for bad people, it turns them into monsters. For good people, it gives them superhuman powers. I don't know if that's from the game. To be honest, I mean, I should have been upfront with this. I don't think I've ever played Doom. I was really more of a Wolfenstein 3D kid because it's all I had access to. I mean, what's your Doom experience, video game wise?
So I mean, I have definitely played Doom. Um, whether or not I can differentiate Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, or Quake completely, like they all kind of blend together in my mind. I like so I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooters to begin with, and I think a big reason why is because they all kind of the same to me. But that might just speak to me having or first-person shooter blindness.
Okay,
I
so
can't
you can play
differentiate
any.
them.
They're all the same. Even if in one you're in space fighting monsters, and in the other you're in World War II era Germany fighting werewolves. It's
Yeah,
all the same.
all the same.
That's fair. I'm curious, have you played any of the like extended versions of Doom? Like, or did you just play that first one?
I'm pretty sure I just played the first one. Although, fun fact, this is a thing I learned about the Doom series as a whole. Um, all of them are connected. They're all like direct sequels to one another. Even though, like,
Oh, that's great.
one of them literally takes place in medieval times. Like they follow each
That's
other.
awesome. It's like it's not a prequel, it's the sequel.
It is one of the sequels. Yeah,
I mean, good for them. Like, if you're gonna make a movie or a game like this, like go full on out. Like, really explore the sci-fi element of it. Like, have fun. So, I good for them. Um, it is worth mentioning that, like, I think that this movie gives a lot of nods to the game. Like, it references like maps and like the monsters, obviously. And first big major spoiler, it gives you a first person shooter experience where it fully leans into it. And Carl Urban's character wakes up, looks in a mirror, sort of like checks himself out in the mirror. That's all like CGI. But, and then walks through the halls and I think encounters like, one to one recreations of these dumb monsters that you would find, including ones that like one guy's like, I have an axe. He doesn't say it, but he's holding an axe and he gets shot and he drops the axe and the axe like splits his head. And it's like, that can't be. But it must have been. But I don't remember. Like I never played, so I don't know for sure. But the way everything about it feels like, oh, this feels authentic. Um, and even as someone who never played the game, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like I am appreciating what's going on. So in its era, for them to do this, for them to try and take it that far, that makes me want to shout, I love Doom. But not to the point where I would lose my voice like I have. So it has all these references to the game, including I think there's a big one that it's the BFG. Like
yeah.
even though I didn't play the game, I knew what the BFG was, and it's a big deal in this movie. Like just, at one point, the Rock walks past it. It's like an open door. He walks by. He's like, "Hello," and he like walks over to it, and like he wants to be part of it. You know what I mean? Um, it is sad that it's only fired once in the movie,
Yeah.
and I feel like I have this memory of it. The one time it's fired in the movie, the Rock fires it. It goes across the screen and like, towards the person it's being fired at. But the camera sort of pans with it, and I'm like, oh, that was in not the trailer, but the TV commercials. Like I can remember them literally showing their blown load like all over TV commercials. I was like, why would you do that? But I mean, they were like, we want to get these Doom fans in. And honestly, I don't know, but look, let's if it worked. So did it work? Doom 2005 made 58 million worldwide. It gets an estimated $67 million budget.
Yeah.
I mean, math was never my strong suit, but it has to be a disappointment, um, which is a shame. But but I mean, suffice to say, I think there's enough in here that like fans of the game would have been satisfied.
Yeah.
Now, the story around it, I don't know if that lines up with what happens in the games, but I found it to be kind of like perfectly suitable, perfectly entertaining. The characters are good. And then spoiler number two is the character arcs. So they're good. Like the brother sister bond between Urban and Pike works, and they have a conflict and a resolution. Great. Dwayne Johnson's character, his arc leads him towards evil. He becomes sort of like seduced by the power and starts to like if it were an alien movie, he would be the the robot bureaucrat that ruins everything.
I thought you were gonna say he was the polarizer.
He's the yeah, Paul Reiser's the bureaucrat. He's the you know he's got to do it by the books. Yeah, so he's definitely that character where he's like, we can't bring back survivors, so kill those women and children, that sort of thing. And as he's introduced as like GI Joe America, like the you know country boy, like the pure goodness and justice. So, and like I said at the beginning, like you think at one point he's the main character, but he really isn't. He's the character that goes bad. And I say that's a spoiler because when I watched the movie the first time, I was like, good for him. He's at the beginning of his career where he could be getting movies where he's the untouchable action star, but he's willing to be the guy that is not just has flawed characteristics, but is a bad dude and does bad things. Um, so I was really excited for The Rock's career at this point, and this was a big part of it because he chose a movie like this. Of course, this is a movie where Arnold was attached to it at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I can't imagine he would have done this at that point in his career. Maybe. I don't know. But to see The Rock do it was really cool. And he goes full bad. And he and Carl Urban have this great fight at the end. It's fantastic. Um, I mean, even I say that, but like when the movie was over, I was like, ugh, ugh. But seriously, it's one of those movies where looking back, I was impressed. Like everything lines up. Like everything's fine. Everything's either fine or good. There's nothing here that's terrible. But the end result is not a great movie. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So I mean, where does Doom rank in like, or I guess in the timeline of like video game adaptation?
Oh, sure.
Like, because I'm thinking about like like I guess Resident Evil was like 96. I want to say no
Right. Yeah.
later.
So this would have been it was a little bit later than that, right? Resident Evil, I feel like was 2000, right?
I feel like I don't know. But like I think Resident Evil is a decent video game movie. But like there's a lot of stinkers around that.
Oh yeah.
Um, but
All
where
right.
does
So let's
Doom
check it
rank in
out.
their video game movies?
So Resident Evil did come out in 2002, and I'm with you. Like I think it's a very good movie. I think it's better as a scary movie than it is as a adaptation of Resident Evil. But it did come out in 2002, and I loved it. I was like, oh, this is so scary. I love it. But uh, we are also in the backwind of the Lara Croft movies.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of stuff like in this era, House of the Dead,
Ish.
Alone in the Dark. Like, brace yourself. Blood Rain, Silent Hill. So you got a lot of stuff like that, which wasn't really cooking. And then they shifted away from horror and embraced like they tried Hitman. It didn't
Mhm.
work either. They tried Max Payne. That didn't work either. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun Li from the same director that did Doom. That didn't work either. All the while, they're still making Resident Evil movies. So like this is the environment that Doom sort of came about in. Um, and I'd say it's comparable to the best of what happens there.
Yeah.
Um, even though there's a lot that do way worse. For what it's worth, I don't know. I think you have to go to like Sonic the Hedgehog before they get a video game movie that's great. Do you know
Yeah,
what
a
I mean?
legit good movie, right?
Yeah, like like there's tons of fun, like and through all of it. But like to get a movie where it's like, oh my god, that was a great movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I think there's a good run. Oh, maybe not. Dude. I mean, you have a good run of Sonic movies, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So like, Doom the one to break the curse? Not even close. But I think good fun was had.
Yeah, and I'm curious about the monster designs in the movie, um, because I mean I've watched Doom, but I don't remember it. Much like I don't remember playing those first person shooters. Um,
Sure. Yeah.
but like I'm curious if the character or the monster designs are similar to the video game monsters, but because the video game monsters are basically grunts that you shoot constantly, they're not very distinguishable from one another.
Right. They don't need to be, right? Because they're
Yeah.
just I mean, and it was all 8-bit, right? So like they needed to make it simple, make it work.
I mean, it was like maybe 32-bit. 8-bit's a
Uh, Oh,
little blocky.
I bet. You're right. I bet. So they are Stan Winston designs, and some of them are really cool. I'm scrolling through them now. I mean, they just look like generic monsters though. Just really creepy ones, but like it's hard to line this up against a xenomorph or a
Yeah.
predator. Do you know what I mean? We don't get those anymore. We don't I mean we get literally those, but we don't get new versions of those. Do you know what I mean? And Doom
Yeah.
wasn't it. It's just like flesh monsters with like big foreheads.
Yeah.
At least with
I'm just
some like
curious. I'm just curious if like they were like they felt hamstrung by the video games, like the source material, so that
I could
they
s-
couldn't.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I hear you for sure. And I think you might be right. Like there's something to that. Like maybe they came to the producers, they're like, "What do you think of this?" And they're like, "Not ding dongy enough. Like dumb it down." And I'm like, "Come on." I mean, that's certainly possible, right?
Yeah. All right. So do you own Dune on? Sorry, Doom, not Dune. Doom on DVD or Blu-ray?
I don't. I just never saw a reason to, even though I feel like I was largely positive about the experience back then. Looking back at the old review um, on the website, I had good things to say, but it just wasn't my cup of tea, I think. Yeah.
So if somebody's looking to watch something with similar vibes to Doom, is there something you would recommend?
I think certainly go back to Aliens, the sequel. It has that same sort of machismo, like the macho energy. I mean, that reminds me. I mean, The Rock in this movie, I think he's good. I mean, it's still early in his career, but acting wise, but like he's doing a lot of like flex acting. He's like, "Arr," lots of big eyes and big teeth and like veins popping out of his neck. Like when he's just like asking people to come across the room and talk to him, like, like take a breath. Not to the actor. I think that was what they were going for. But every scene he's just like, and I was like, oh, he's flex acting. So uh, Aliens for sure. But then I remembered just the other day the movie Hardcore Henry. Did you ever see Hardcore Henry?
I did not, but that's the one with Charlton Copley. Uh, right, he
I think
plays.
so. Yeah,
Yeah, he plays the titular Henry.
I think he does. But to be honest, I'm not 100% sure because it is a first person movie in total. So the whole movie is done first person, and it is very fun and very wildly inventive. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm kind of curious to revisit it now. But it takes that sort of like special element of Doom with the first person experience and goes full bore with it. So like worth a watch just to for the not social experiment, but the technological experiment, the cinematic experiment.
Yeah,
Definitely worth a watch.
nice. So do you have any other closing thoughts on Doom?
More positive than I expected it to be, but not a classic for sure. Like really just There's good stuff in here, but it's not a great movie. I feel like I'm saying that more and more these days. When are we gonna get to the real meaty good stuff, right? It's coming soon, hopefully.
All right, everyone. Have you seen Doom? What'd you think? Let us know in the comments below. Can you tell me the difference between Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, and Quake? Drop
Please.
me a comment, please. I have first person shooter blindness, but if you like this, hit that like button, give me a like. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber. And we'll catch you all in the next one.